Ah, Mr. Caretaker Gamer. What will it be tonight?
Vodka on the rocks. You, didn't need to do all that. Like, who are you trying to impress?
No one. I'm simply trying to make a friend feel better with the power of humor. That's funny now. The power of showmanship. What's wrong, Caretaker Gamer? You look sad. Is something bothering you, friend?
Well, I'm alone on Valentine's Day since my girlfriend's really mad at me right now. It's all because she says I don't concentrate during our conversations. Like, I keep getting into these deep inner monologues.
And in that moment, I realized this drink that this guy gave me is cheap vodka, and it's watered down. Like, why would you water down the cheap stuff? It doesn't cost that much, and it makes it taste like piss from a trough.
Are you alright there?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I was just deep in thought there.
Seems to me like this inner monologue situation could really be a problem. I can see your girlfriend getting tired of it, and I myself am only just meeting you for the first time.
I know, I'm awful. Wait a minute, just met. I thought you were that guy
Maybe
from...
it's not so bad for you after all. Take a look over there.
That's a gorilla scratching his ass.
No. Take a look over there.
Oh. Wow. Whew. I don't know what's come over me, but all I want to do is just take her home with me and... what am I saying? I have a girlfriend. She would kill me just for the fact that I'm here right now. Oh, shit. Hi.
Looks like you've got a choice to make there. Casanova.
Looks like I do. And the way I'm going to make that choice is by reviewing Catherine. It's a very interesting game, I do say so myself. But you know what? Let's just get right into it and see if Catherine is really that good.
Oh boy, Catherine, this game. Well, first off, happy Valentine's Day or belated Valentine's Day, depending on when this video gets out. But I hope you had a wonderful time, and to talk about Valentine's Day, we're going to be talking about Catherine. Also, I really need to make a really big choice here. Do I stay with the woman that I've been with for a while? Or do I go for that sexy, demonic looking... Who am I saying? What am I saying? Okay, let's get on to this review to see if Catherine's really that good or bad. The story focuses on Vincent, a very indecisive man who can barely speak a word of English.
Hey, where'd you go? Snap out of it! Were you even listening?
Which leads me to be very surprised when he has a very long-term girlfriend named Catherine with a K. And she's kind of done dealing with his shit too. And where do most men go to go discuss their problems with their buds? To the bars, so they can all get drunk to be numb to all their feelings and just sit there in this pool of alcohol just talking and revealing their deepest, darkest secrets. I'm just kidding. He goes there for basically his support group. So his friends meet up at this bar called the Stray Sheep, where they talk about their relationship problems and all sorts of advice that they want to give to each other, no matter how drunk they really get. But yeah, I'm surprised that Vincent even has friends, considering that he still talks like an absolute idiot, or just doesn't even say real words. And he also goes into these deep inner monologues quite often. And you know what? Most of his problems, correction, all of his problems probably could have been avoided if he just goddamn opened his mouth and actually said what he needed to say. His friends hang out at the Stray Sheep where they talk to each other and try to give each other advice, in this case mostly just talking to Vincent and also sharing their similar stories to try and comfort him, while Vincent is having huge problems with his friend Catherine. Anywho, so at the Stray Sheep, where he also talks to his friends, he meets the devilishly sexy Catherine, but this time Catherine with a C, and she's really hitting on him. And of course, because Vincent just can't be a normal person, just kind of ends up in bed with her, and then he gets all these awful, awful nightmares, which leads to the gameplay. But before I get into the core gameplay, I'm going to talk about how this game works overall. So the game is split up between daytime and nighttime. Nighttime is where all the core gameplay happens, and daytime / late evening, or who knows, it's daytime. That's where you move the story along, where you get your cutscenes, basically everything that happens at the Stray Sheep and your conversations. That's where everything in terms of story really happens. So, the Stray Sheep is where most of the story moves along because you talk to your friends, and also that's where you get these sexy pictures from Catherine with a C, but also feeling guilty about it. But basically, you can play the game any way you want. This game entirely depends on the decisions you make, and there are just so many different endings that you can get with this game, depending on all the decisions that you make during the daytime and at night. So the nighttime gameplay, you go through these really weird dreams where you have to climb up the tower and get to the top before all the floors beneath you tumble down, or a giant boss comes up behind you and tries to eat your ass. So that you don't get a giant boss trying to eat your ass or fall to your death, you have to solve the puzzle on climbing up the tower. There are many different kinds of traps, like spikes in the floor, or there's ice and stuff like that. You just have to try and find the best way up. I recommend playing on easy for anyone playing this game for the first time, unless you just really want to go at it and die so many times. And after you get up to the tower, after a certain point, you get to this safe haven where you can talk to all these other sheeple, where they kind of tell you their life story and why their life is just tumbling down, and the fact that they're scared shitless of this nightmare world that they cannot wake up from. And once you're done conversing and saving your progress, and you really need to save your progress because you will hate yourself if you don't, and this is one of the only places where you can save. Anywho, you go up to this confessional looking booth where then you have a decision to make. These decisions aren't the easiest to make or even determine if they're really that good or bad. Kind of like my choice that I'm going to have to give this game. So you have to choose between the left or right choice, and then that determines your ending for the game. If you're trying to get the best ending, don't even bother, because some of these choices, like I said before, are just too difficult to determine if they're really a good or bad decision. If you really want to try, think of what morally seems correct. And don't just think decision making happens only in your nightmares, but they also happen when you're at the Stray Sheep. Like when you get text messages and you have to think of how to respond to them. Again, the choices are not always the easiest ones in terms of the responses you can choose from, but you should think about what you would morally do in real life. At least that's how I played this game for my first playthrough, in order to try to get the best ending I could. So that's pretty much everything about the gameplay, though there is a part in the Stray Sheep where you can play in an arcade where you can practice of how to climb up the tower, but I honestly didn't really play that since I mostly just learned and paused a lot to try and determine my best strategy to get up the Tower of Death. So is this game really that good? A lot of people have told me that it's an excellent game, and now apparently there's even a new version of it now called Catherine Full Body, where you even have a third choice. But honestly, I didn't have time to play that yet, but I will get back to it at some point. Maybe I'll make an update, a little short video just talking about Full Body as well. But This game, everyone said was a great puzzle game, and honestly, I stayed away from it for many years because honestly, I'm not that great with puzzles. I can do Legend of Zelda puzzles, but this game kind of gave me so much anxiety when I saw the gameplay for it. Anyway, I got past my anxiety and played it, and I will have to say it is a pretty good game. The story's pretty good, the characters are excellent, the voice acting is fantastic, and I really love those animated scenes as well. So, if I had to give this game a score, I would give it a 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 because I'm still not that great with puzzle games, but I will say that this game has nothing really that stands out in terms of anything that really bothers me. So the story, voice acting, and gameplay, everything just felt so solid. So if you really want to play Catherine, please play it. But if you're playing it nowadays, I would say get the full body version. But I will make an update video on that at some point.
Wow! Woo! What sort of a game do you have here, boy? It's fantastic.
Well, looks like I know who I'm going to be coming home to tonight.
But what is it? Who will it be? Suspense is killing me. Come on, you must tell! Here's yeah.
Well, fine. I'll take my pussy elsewhere.